In 1969, the world was still basking in the summer of love. Peace, love, and music were the order of the day. The Beatles had just released the White Album, and the Rolling Stones were about to release their first live album. It was also the year that saw the first moon landing. But if hippies, peace, and the space age were all that the 1960s were about, why did it end the decade on such a gruesome note? Why is Charles Manson one of the most infamous criminals of all time? Why are his victims still being remembered even today? Hi, I'm here with my channel. And this is the story of the Manson Family Murders, a brutal cult killing spree committed under Charles Manson's manipulation. The 1960s were an era of change. Hippies rejected traditional values and experimented with free love and psychedelic drugs. They protested against the war and for civil rights. It was an era of revolution, but that came with a cost. The traditional family structure was abandoned, and the nuclear family became the hippie commune. There was communal sharing of resources, sex, and most importantly, no hierarchy. Everyone was equal. It's hard to imagine how that went wrong. Well, it went wrong at every turn. Cults started springing up everywhere promising a better way of life. But instead, they brainwashed their members into doing menial tasks and made them totally dependent on the cult leader. One such cult was that of Charles Manson. He promised his followers, the so-called Manson family, a utopian existence. Instead, he forced them to commit heinous crimes. On August 8, 1969, members of the Manson family brutally murdered a number of Hollywood elites at two different locations. The first was at a party at 1050 Cielo Drive in Los Angeles. Here, 4 people were killed, including the famous director Roman Polanski's pregnant wife, Sharon Tate. The other 3 victims were Jay Sebring, a celebrity hairdresser, Abigail Folger, a coffee heiress, and a 19-year-old screenwriter, Wojciech Frykowski. The group had been invited to dinner by Tate, who was 8.5 months pregnant at the time. But when they arrived home from a shopping trip, they found the grisly sight before them. The bodies of their hosts lay sprawled on the floor in various states of undress. The second attack happened the same night at the home of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. They were found dead in their home in Los Feliz along with their house guests, writer Ed Quesada and his wife, Susan. All of them had been stabbed multiple times. The attackers had scrawled messages on the walls and floors using ketchup and lipstick. The police were baffled. Whoever had done this had not only been brutal, they had left calling cards at both crime scenes. The killers had written Heimer on the front door with blood and death to pigs and beware the night on the walls. Within days, the media had dubbed the killer the Night Stalker. Within weeks, the case went cold. The police were no closer to finding the killer. And then out of nowhere, a woman walked into the Hollywood station house and told the cops she knew who had done it. Her name was Lynette Frum, and she said she was a member of the Manson family. She told the police that her group had carried out the killings, but she wasn't involved. She said she was just there to listen while the carnage unfolded. The police didn't believe her, and she was soon let go. However, a few months later, another member of the Manson family, Patricia Krenwinkel, confessed to the police that she was indeed involved in the Tate LaBianca murders. Soon, the whole Manson family was in custody. Charles Manson was charged with 33 counts, including 31 murders. He had masterminded the entire thing. He chose the targets and gave the orders. His motive was simple. He wanted to start a race war. He believed that by killing influential white Hollywood figures, he could provoke Black Americans into a violent uprising. This would bring about the apocalyptic event he called Helter Skelter, after which he would emerge as the leader of a new society. However, the plan backfired. The murders shocked the nation and united people rather than dividing them. During the trial, Manson and some of his followers, including Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, and Linda Kasabian, took the stand in their own defense. They argued that they had committed the murders in self-defense, claiming that the victims had attacked them first. However, the jury saw through their lies and convicted Manson of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death, but his sentence was changed to life in prison when California abolished the death penalty in 1972. Manson died in 2017 at the age of 83. He was buried in a small cemetery in Wisconsin. Some of his followers are still behind bars. Others were released on parole, but all of them have one thing in common. Their story serves as a reminder of what happens when hate and manipulation override love and peace. What do you think of the Manson case? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more.